Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. However you happen to be watching and or listening to this, I want to welcome you to the latest episode of the Gaming Circle podcast. The podcast where, we were out last week. Life was happening. We had to adapt. It is what it is. But we are back. I'm, of course, your host, Mr. K. Asante, TKO Asante, and all the places we communicate. And that includes discord.gg/TGCP. That's the Discord, ladies and gentlemen. Please join us. Always a lot of fun there. And I am, of course, joined by the man, the myth, the legend, the one who is sick this morning, but still joins us. Salute to you, Mr. Everborn Saga. How you doing, sir?
Not just sick as a dog.
sick as a dog. All right. So you want to tell us what happened? Go ahead.
Well, first of all, last week, apologies, we missed the show. I don't know what K. Asante was doing, but I had to do a gender reveal. It's a girl. Which was very stressful because I was the only one. I was entrusted to be the one that knew the answer because I had to order the smoke thing, the pink or blue smoke thing.
Okay.
And I had to deal with like 2 or 3 months of people constantly trying to pry that information out of me.
So not only did you know, but everyone knew that you knew.
Yes.
But you couldn't tell. Oh, that's wild.
Exactly. And then we had kids in the daycare saying, Steven told me it was a... They were just guessing, right?
Oh, they were diming you out.
Yeah, it was wild. But I'm glad that weight is now off my shoulders.
That's great. What I had to do, what did I do on that day? So the thing that happens, right? This will tell you find folks watching and or listening how much I love y'all and how much I love this show. My Saturday is so coveted that when I don't have a Saturday show, right, I can't tell anyone because the moment I do, oh my God, my days are numbered, right? My hours rather are numbered. What ended up happening? Yeah, I went to like 3 birthday parties with kids. Wife, oh, well, you got to come with me here. Oh, we got to go. This is my respite, ladies and gentlemen. But yes, that's what happened. I had a very busy Saturday.
Oh, yes. As a father and a husband, your time is not your own.
Ever. No. And this is why GCP is my respite. I get to go, nope, show's starting. Cone of silence.
It's GCP and the toilet. Those are the 2 places that you have to yourself.
Man, those are the only thrones I got for me, man.
And that is why they made handhelds. But anyway.
Anyway. All right. Anyway, so good morning, good afternoon to everybody that's here. I see a lot of great people in the chat already. Salute to all the fine folks who join us every week. I feel like I did not miss last week because most of y'all fine folks were in our Discord with us. We've been having conversations all week anyway. But salute to the folks who jump on this on here on the in the chat rather when we get going. Thank y'all so much for being here. I see you, Aaron. Hashtag from the cabin. I see you, brother. Good to see you here. Of course, Infinite Umbra. What is his new name? It is not Infinite Umbra. It is what?
It's Infinite Inventory.
No, it's not Infinite Inventory. What was it again? Oh my God. Oh man. Dang it. It's gonna drive me nuts until I remember this. Because let's just say the Infinite one.
Infinite Mods.
No. What was the old school device? The Nintendo device we used to use to get like Game Shark. Infinite Game Shark. Salute to the one Zach Riley. There you go. He is now known forever as Infinite Game Shark. That's what it is.
I think that story is worth delving into for the audience at Umbra's expense.
So real quick, all right.
So, Umbra, you're here for the entertainment today.
This is what happened. All right. So as we do as brothers, whenever anything happens, right, and you run into any issues in the world, anything's going on, you come to the Discord. We have great conversations, both in gaming and troubleshooting, whatever, right? So the great Infinite One joins us and says, hey man, I'm having such an issue. Now it is the direst of issues because it is a game that he can't play that, man, oh man, I am addicted to. What game? Of course, this is Crimson Desert, right? And the man can't open his inventory. Every time he opens inventory, it crashes. I'm like, holy crap, that is a critical sin. What is going on here, right? So we go through the process, troubleshooting this, that, and the third. I actually tell him, I tell him that in this specific scenario, had he bought it on Xbox, he probably would have gotten his way around, because then he could test it whether it's a cloud problem or if it's a problem on his own device. So ultimately, we devise a solution where he signs up to GeForce Now to try it in their cloud to see if it's isolated to his device or if it's somewhere else. TLDR, long story short, ladies and gentlemen, the man was using a mod.
Sorry, I got to break protocol. Protocol. Paris has come to his senses, and he has realized that Sonic the Hedgehog is the greatest.
Someone check on Paris. His account has been hacked. What's going on?
No, he's just seen the light.
Someone check on Paris. His account has been hacked. We need to check on this man. I hope he's all right. Someone do a health check on the man. I hope he's good. Please blink twice if you're all right. Anyway, back to the story. TLDR, Infinite Game Shark.
Somebody said they're going to time Paris out for that.
Oh, don't do that, man. Be nice. Infinite Game Genie had applied a mod to his inventory to continue having infinite inventory.
But wait a minute. You're only looking at it from the point where you helped. He also reached out to 2 other members in the community, hours of their time across multiple days, and he was cursing out Pearl Abyss. He's like, this update broke my whatever. And we was like, did you reach out to support? Did you do all of this? Did you sign it in the cloud? All of this. And then it turns out through happenstance, and he didn't even divulge this. It just so happens that Lucius Augustus from the community said, wait a minute. Why aren't you running out of stamina when you're running? He was like, oh, I just got a mod.
What?
And he was like, wait, what? You're using mods. Umbra, do you have an inventory mod? Well, what had happened was I didn't think I didn't know that needed to be disclosed.
And so birthed the Infinite Game Genie Game Shark. Jesus. What are we doing? Anyway. All right. So he'll never be allowed to forget that one. For as long as he shall live, for as long as we shall remember it. So he is now forever known as the Infinite Game Shark. Anyway, moving on. So we, of course, will get into all the games we're playing. We've been out for a week, so we might catch up on some of the stories that maybe have been churning around the community. If you want to join us in said conversation, how about you go ahead and leave a question in that chat. I'm keeping an eye on there. We'll jump on here and make sure that we answer as many of them questions as we can. If there's any kind of topic you think we should be talking about that we have not spoken of, come on, just let us know. It's been more than a week, so we might be forgetting of something. But before we get there, first off, if you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit that like button, please. It lets the algorithm know we are back and that others can join us as well. We appreciate all the fine folks watching over all the various platforms that you are watching it on. Mr. Everborn Saga, sir, I know you've been sick. I know you've been Mr. Everborn Contractor for some time still. Any games you want to talk about? Well, first and foremost, before we talk about any games you've been playing, give us a status on the greatness that is Crimson Desert, sir.
So Crimson Desert, I am around 20 hours into it.
Okay.
I am in chapter 4. I've been critical pathing it. But I did, for the first time, delve out to other parts outside of Hernan.
Mm-hmm.
And so I saw a video on this two-handed weapon called the Deathbringer that shoots out homing projectiles every time you slash. Heavy slash. So I had to travel to Payloon. I had to climb up the mountains, come down. I got attacked by a group of people. It's like a tribe. They ride bears instead of horses. I had to run past them because I should not have. Like, the level that I'm at is not ready to take them on.
Be prepared to be clapped. Yes.
I had to. Hey, yo. But I had to do some scraping and scrambling to get out of there just to find the place on the mountain. And I got the sword that was lodged inside of the giant's skull, the dead giant skull. And so very good sword. It's interesting adapting to two-handed weapons because I was sword and board at first. That's what you start out with. But I found out I can, if I don't want to stay two hands, I can extract the powers and abilities from the weapons and armor
from the witches, right?
Other weapons that you want. Yes. So I haven't found the witch yet, but I am now in chapter 4, and that is where I that's the last thing I've done in the game. I'm gonna get into if I get back to it, because there's another whole thing. The game is a time suck, and it's fun to live in that world, but it's one of those games that if you're gonna play it, just be ready to dedicate a few hundred hours to it. And I think about like how many 10 or 15 hour games can I play instead of that. And so I really love the game, and every time I turn it on, I'm in there for a few hours and time goes by. But I kind of feel overwhelmed, not by the game itself, but by how much is left to do. And so the other game that I played when I put that down, because I'm a huge, like us all, I'm a huge Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver fan.
Oh wow!
So,
okay. You played Soul Reaver
I
remake?
picked up that Legacy of Kain Ascension. This is Sons of Sparta bad.
Oh no!
Story is pretty cool, but I could not get past the first hour of this game. Like, it is the most basic of the basic. Like, they did not even try.
Seriously.
I bought it day one just because I like to support anything Legacy of Kain, but it is not great.
Oh no!
This is what they say. That game could have been an email.
Wow.
So
that is cold-blooded, sir.
I'm sorry to say it, man. I'm sorry to say it because I was really
cold-blooded.
looking forward to it. And listen, don't worry, because we got Castlevania coming, right? That looks like it's going to be phenomenal. So,
hold on. Speak a little bit more to why you think this game is that bad. Like, what about it is so Sons of Sparta bad?
Well, so okay. So let me be fair to Sons of Sparta. I have not played Sons of Sparta. I've only watched people play it. And this I did play. So I'm going to go ahead and say that this is worse than what I saw in Sons of Sparta.
Okay.
But it is just too, like, there's not really anything to the mechanics, right? You see that slash there? That's basically what you get.
That's all you get the whole time?
Yeah, it's just not. And the art and like the pixel art and all this stuff is just, I don't know, the colors they use are kind of ugly, as you can see here.
It seems a little, it seems old school and not the best of ways.
It seems Game Maker, my first game type of thing.
Oh man, that is just cold-blooded, sir. The sickness has left you with little tact.
Listen, man, I don't feel bad because I supported it, right? I usually buy games based off trailers alone. I don't even got to do demos, so it doesn't matter. They got my money, but I am not ever touching
You're
that.
not happy. That is unfortunate. Okay. I guess I know not to play this game. It was on my radar. It was on my list, but I had not planned on.
Well, hold on. If you do play it, I do think it's worth it for the story.
Okay, so the story's good.
Story's pretty good from what I've seen.
Okay, because that's why you're there, right? Like the Legacy of Kain series is all about that gravitas, that amazing story.
Yeah. So, like, I think that might be worth the price of the admission if you are a Legacy of Kain fan. But I couldn't do it. And also, so I picked up like 3 other games, but I didn't start them, so I don't want to talk about them yet.
Okay.
But one of them was Metal Eden.
Okay.
And I don't know if you
remember Metal Eden,
but I picked it up. You want to show it to the people on the screen? What's most fascinating about this, when you see it, it's gonna be wild, but the game is like under $15.
And
like
it is
$13.50 I paid for it.
It is like beautiful. Like, what are we doing? Why are you so beautiful for so indie, supposedly indie? Like, it is fantastic. Like, what? Metal Eden. That's right.
Wait, hold on. I want to make sure this is the right one. No, I think it might be Morbid Metal.
Oh, Morbid Metal is what you're talking about. Also another game I actually own. Yes, let me go back to
Well,
that.
the reason is this is great too, and it's also very cheap. But specifically,
Yes.
Morbid Metal is the way. It's a third-person action game,
Yes,
but it is $13.50.
Yeah, which I actually spoke about on this channel. I'd say a year ago during the demo phase. Like I was playing the demo of it, and the look. I'm the type of gamer who loves locomotion. I've been big on locomotion, and this game is locomotion the game. It's so good, and graphically it's crisp and awesome, and just really really like satisfying when you get the combat down. So yeah, this is Morbid Metal.
Yeah, like just look at what it is on screen, and this is $13.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Like you can't beat this.
Yeah, it is in early access as I understand it, at least in the Steam store as I understand it. But yeah, ultimately, I don't know how the story will go. I don't know how all those logistics will fall. But what they have here, as far as the combat and the locomotion and the style and the classes, I don't know how far you went in that realm. You have the big lumbering dudes who can do different move sets and they're slower than the lighter classes who are much faster and can like attack more enemies at once, but they're also obviously weaker. Very well put together, balanced kind of flow. It's really cool, like really cool. And you can, obviously take to the skies as well as ground combat. It's well executed. Very, very cool.
And Umbra wants to remind us all that this is UE5 slop.
Unreal freaking Game Genie can calm the heck down. Okay, he can calm the heck down.
So there's another one, and I don't know if you've picked this up. Now I bought this, but I have not played it yet. It is on my list, and I'll tell you why I haven't gotten to some of these games in a second when we do the on the real block.
I'm sorry. They asked what I see the Winter Shoulder, which again the Winter Shoulder, great name. Asks what game that was again. Morbid Metal.
Morbid Metal, only $13 on Steam.
$13 on Steam right now. Go ahead, Everborn. You were saying. I'm sorry.
Yes, Samson.
I have not picked it up. I've heard it will be great, but right now it might be a little buggy. Is that the case?
I haven't played it yet. I just bought it. $25.
Okay.
So when the people see this one, they're gonna think $25 is kind of a steal. But basically, think if you had an open zoned GTA with no guns. It's all melee hand-to-hand combat.
It's like Driver, right? Remember old school Driver? It's like Driver.
Yeah. It's very 360 style. Basically, you are an enforcer you have your own debt to pay. And then you're an enforcer. In order to pay that debt, you have to go and collect money from people around the city, and then you end up in a bunch of
really dense. If you look at the city, like it is New York dense. It's amazing. Look at that. All the stuff everywhere and the ray tracing. It's beautiful looking. Quite good. Yeah. Really, really nice.
Well, so someone says isn't Samson Mind's Eye Jr.? No, because I feel like they took out all of the fluff and they're only charging $25 for it. So I feel like that gets them.
Yeah, it gets them a pass. Yeah. But look at what you're looking at. Like it just looks great. It looks great. Obviously, it's probably simplistic in its delivery, but it looks pretty damn good for $25.
Yeah. And like I said, it's all like hand-to-hand combat. Maybe an enemy here or there will have like a pistol or something, but like you are just punching people in the face and kicking them.
Cool. Cool. Yeah. Now this is PC exclusive, if I last recall, right? It's not on any consoles right now.
I don't know.
I think it's only on PC right now. I could be wrong, but that's what I think. Somebody tell me in the chat. Correct me if I'm wrong. Continue.
All right, and there's one more that I want to talk about because I want to put this game on people's radar. I have been waiting for it since last year when I first found out about it, and I just think more people should know about it. It's called Fallen Tier.
Oh yeah, I know Fallen Tier. Yep.
So this they I think they had a Kickstarter which I backed.
We talked about it last week. In fact,
did we? Okay, if we did, then we don't have
2 weeks
to. We don't
ago.
have to.
2 weeks ago. Yeah.
We
We
don't have
talked
to
a little
recap.
about it 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But no. Remind the people why this thing is great, because I think it bears repeating. If you recall, I said the character reminds me of Echo from Riot Games.
Oh yeah. But like this is all hand-drawn art. The world is so like fully realized. The combat system is very punchy. It is I haven't put much time into it just because, you know, Crimson Desert. But this is probably going to be the next Metroidvania that I jump into. It's also in early access. I've been trying to give it time to kind of get to 1.0 as well. But I can't remember how much I paid for this one, but I know it's under $20. So this is definitely a recommend from Everborn. You can see how much work they've put into the art here. Like,
yeah,
it's really good.
So, all right. As for what I have been playing, and this for those who want to know again is Fallen Tier, as in EAR, not IER. But anyway, and I see folks are responding in the chat. Thank you so much. King Web, King Web says that it is currently on PC, but it will be coming to consoles. That is Samsung. So yeah, ultimately, I hope it's clean by the time it gets there. I did hear that it started with a little bit of bugginess, but we shall see. Oh, and of course, our first super chat of the day, the great 108 Dragons TV.
What up?
Good morning, my gaming community. Glad to see y'all two back. Y'all back. One Everborn will be there in June, and Mr. TKO will see you in June. Let's go. Will you be there in June, sir?
Is that a question for me? Yes. No, not with this house remodel. I'm 2027. I'm gonna be everywhere. Y'all gotta. We're building a new house. Basically from scratch. So y'all gotta bear with me.
Mr. Everborn Contractors in full effect. You gotta watch it back. So you know it is what it is. But I will see you soon, sir. I look forward to it. It's always fun hanging out with Lemon. He's always awesome. You know. So thank you so much for being here.
Hey, while Lemon is here, I want to show something.
Okay.
Because we just got this thing set up. So hold on a minute.
Okay. We might get an Everborn cam reveal today.
All right. So
let's see what's going on.
This out.
Oh, zero signal.
Oh, we got to fix that. Hold on. And I think
there he is. Yes, there it is. Oh, check that out. Wow. Okay. All right. Let's full screen that thing. Check that out. How long did it take you to build this thing?
Oh, I mean, this takes like a day to print. This is 3D printed, but the point is we have the model and we can if we get it cast, we could like mass produce these. And it wouldn't be this big, but this is just, you print it in this side because you're doing FDM. So
that's great, man. It's fully opposable, like every joint.
Yep.
That is dope, bro. That is really cool.
You guys got to tell me if you'd be interested in these on the Everborn Saga website, because we're getting all the characters made.
Very nice. Very, very nice. Now
we have different hands and different swords. Like you can switch the attachments or whatever.
Okay.
So that you could be holding all the weapons from the game or comic or whatever.
Yeah. Lemon says, "Sign me up, Everborn." You know what it is.
We can make these things happen.
Yeah, that is awesome, indeed. Let us know how we can support you, bro. If it's a thing of if it's individually made to order, that's one thing. Or if it's
they are made to order right now. Because the thing with these is if you want to get them like fully produced, you have to create a mold so that they can pour the resin in and then mass produce them. The mold itself is like $30,000.
Damn.
But at that point, then you can produce them for a few dollars each, right? So now these have to be individually printed part by part and assembled by me with the 3D printer back there. So they would be made to order.
There you go.
If anybody wanted them now for now.
That's cool, bro. That's cool. 30K. Oof, that's a lot. All right.
Well, no, I mean it is, but if you're thinking about mass producing and
mass scale, it's a different conversation. Yeah, different scale.
So that's
no doubt
in the grand scheme of things.
No doubt. Yeah. The great Hollywood Rules, who's been a member for 13 months, joins us. He says, "Good morning, fellow graybeards." Hey, man, I don't know what you're talking about. He says, "Great to see my boys back. Asha's been busy from outset rather. Good luck to the with the construction Everborn. Great show, guys. Man, we're going to talk about what Asha has been doing. That's one of the topics of the conversation this morning. Thank you for being here. I think Everborn is an honorary gray beard because I don't think he can grow a beard. But that's just me slandering.
Ain't this a you know what?
So before we get back to it,
well, we're not gonna go.
Yeah. Sure you do.
I wasn't sick. I'd get on camera and prove
prove me wrong.
I'm so stressed out with this house build that I've actually been growing grays in the beard. That's a real thing. I don't think. So, okay, not to get like too in the weeds in this. Do you know what it is to build a new house in New York?
Oh, bro, I don't know why the hell you felt the need to go through that instead of buying one. Like not only did you just buy one, then you rebuilt the one you bought, knowing all the headache you'd go through from permits to everything. Like
I actually didn't know how much headaches I would go through. I probably would have rethought it, but we're in it now. So
it is what it is. Let's make sure that Mrs. Everborn Saga doesn't hear this one. Continue. Yes.
No. She's just on me to get it done. It's funny.
Yeah, at this point,
once I get the construction done, then then I step back, and then she's going to be in control.
She's going to be doing craziness. Yes, then she's going to step into craziness as well. Yep. Okay, so before we let's finish up the block, as it were. What I can say, and I can't say much more, and I won't say much more, but I can say that I am playing Replaced. There'll be more to come in Replaced land. Hopefully, a lot more. We'll see. There's still early days, but I'm playing Replaced. Been playing it for a little bit, getting used to it. That's all I can say. So if you remember Replaced, that's what I'm playing. Actually, what I can probably put the demo footage on the screen, which is this, right? So yeah, this has been out there for a long time now. So this is now. I will tell you, I can't say any more than that. Like, this is what I've been playing. I know folks are excited for it. I see you, Hollywood Rules. People are excited for it. Oh, Soul Tech is also playing Replaced. It is what it is. We will talk about it more soon to come. The game is pending release, so it's all good. Yes, shout out to the developer Yora, who's been very, very forthcoming with his time and really, really cool. So hopefully we'll be talking more about that in the days and the weeks to come. But I'm super excited to really pick it apart and start talking in depth about it, because I got thoughts. So there's Replaced. Okay. So we've been playing Replaced. Everborn, I don't know if you've started playing it yet or not. Maybe I don't know if you will or won't, or like you'll wait. I don't know how.
I am trying my best to wait for like 1.0. So I want to. When it gets there, I'll play it. I like to look at the finished product.
Okay. Okay. Now, one other game that I want to talk about real quick before we talk about Crimson Desert, because that's the game that, again, has been taking my entire life. It just has. I'm sorry. It is a no-life game. This is why Everborn and a few other people have decided to step back slowly and go, I'll wait until this thing matures a bit more, because yes, it will suck up your entity. It will suck up your productivity. Big pause. It'll suck it all up, but it's still a fantastic game. But what I have been doing is I've also been putting a little time into Super Meat Boy 3D. Have you played this yet?
I have not, but it is on my list.
If you enjoyed Bzzzt, which we talked about a couple weeks ago, which again, fantastic game. Bzzzt, Bzzzt, if I'm not mistaken. Three Z's, if I'm not mistaken.
Three
Yeah.
Z's.
Seek it out. Yeah, seek it out. It's excellent. But I would say it's fair to say that like Bzz is walking on the shoulders of the giants that were established, one of which was Super Meat Boy. And of course, Super Meat Boy is back to reclaim its crown. And in games like this, if we're talking about a crown, the crown is how annoying can you be? How much can you piss off your player base without making them stop? Because one more run, but it's just like maliciously.
No, you know what? I'm looking at this now. I might be good. This already looks too stressful.
It's maliciously difficult. Like it is frustratingly malicious. Like how far can you go? This is an exercise in patience, but it's beautifully made. It is hilarious. It is super funny. Like, and they all have, and this is the funny part. He always ends up kicking her out of the way, just like, damn, and just like, damn. Anyway, they all have like a way of beating it, like multiple ways. There's, and if you find it, you feel like a genius. But getting your way through it is just, oh boy, game is devilishly fun, but it's also frustrating as all hell. It is very much that same kind of energy that BZZT provides. I think this is that same thing. Man, oh man, Super Meat Boy 3D. It is something else. You should play it, Everborn. I know you're just like, oh, forget about it. But like, really, this is you like this style of game. Let's see how far you can get before.
No, I love this style of game. It's just now.
This is the precision platformer. It is excellent. It's so good.
It's just that I'm getting anxiety just watching this video clip. Is what I'm saying.
It is very, very good. It's very good. It's more of what you'd expect. It's more of the same. It's the style that you know from them. But no, I love it. I think it's really, really well done. I think it's beautiful. So if you haven't had the chance to try it yet, you should. It is on Game Pass. I was like, hey, it's on Game Pass. Why not give it a shot? And yeah, I will most likely buy this like on Steam or most likely wherever I can find it at some point. But this has become my palate cleanser in between other games that I am playing. And what other games am I playing? You know what it is. I am playing
Aaron. It's not gamers. It's just me. I'm getting soft in my old age.
We call it graybeard gaming for a reason, man. We're not getting soft. We're getting seasoned. Okay, it's seasoned. Chill. Don't be disrespectful.
No, I didn't take that as disrespect.
We're getting soft. No, we're not. We're getting seasoned. That's what's happening. Anyway. But all right, so I want to talk more about Crimson Desert. The funny thing about Crimson Desert, I am now 20 some odd hours in, something like that, 20 some odd hours in. But I was playing. Something happened, and I was sharing my screen and showing the guys on the Discord while I was playing. And of course, as he does, I don't know if he's in here or not yet, but as he does, Lucius Augustus had to, of course, immediately slander me. Because the 20 hours I've played, I've basically spent adventuring, not the storyline, adventuring, finding crazy swords. I too have the Dark Bringer. I have a few other. I have the what's the other one called? I was just thinking. And Aaron sparked this thought. We're calling ourselves graybeards. Maybe we're just gray mains now because we're no. Yeah, there we go. There we go. The gray mains of gaming. That's what it is. Yeah. Yes, but no, I'm telling you, like, so they were slandering me because if you look at like the standard path, I have still minimal amount of stamina. I haven't put too much into that. I have 20 some odd hours in. I haven't put enough time into the crafting system or the banking system or all these other crazy systems. But yeah, I can do all of that stuff though. I can fly. I have all these other sheets.
I've actually put all of my points so far into stamina. Like I haven't put any into health. I haven't put any into spirit. I've barely I unlock moves when I fight bosses or whatever or observe, but I'm just trying to max out my stamina so that I can like glide play.
Now, has it represented correctly for you? You moving your stamina, like putting all. So, do you see your stamina grow exponentially?
Yeah, they add there's a little white bar to the thing, and each bar represents a full spin around of the.
Sure. Okay. Yep. See, I think it's growing. Gray mains, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
Gray mains of gaming. Let's go. But no, look. So the thing that I really enjoy about it is.
Hold on.
Hold on.
I want to adjudicate this comment because I disagree.
Yeah, I disagree as well. It's not dumbed down.
It's doing so many more things than The Witcher. If you're talking about the story, then yes. But like, and again, I'm not trying to disrespect The Witcher. The Witcher is amazing and set the standards, and maybe you wouldn't have this if you didn't have The Witcher 3. But let's not call it a dumbed down Witcher 3. Cut it out. That you know what that was.
You know who this is from, right? You know, look at who this is from. This is from our non-console warrior, console warrior.
How's your blood pressure doing?
You know whose blood pressure is the lowest among all, but somehow he's always yelling. But it is what it is. Shout out to Eastside Fandom. You know, but no, look, I too, I don't think it's a dumb down. I would say though. And forgive me for the slander. I would say though that it is a blatant ripoff of a lot of games to like epic degrees.
But at a certain point, when you're borrowing from so many things, do I think you become your own thing, right? True. Yes. This is why I don't call it a ripoff of those things, because they're doing so. Like I call it a ripoff if you just try to remake one game. Sure. Because they're doing so much from so many places. I just think it comes to a point where this is its own thing, and you will compare things to Crimson Desert going forward if they're trying to do this much.
You know, and honestly, I love that you bring this up because it makes me want to have this conversation with you real quick. And the chat, please weigh in on this. For those, and I know Everborn Saga, you may not have played too much of the likes of the more newer iterations of Assassin's Creed, like your Assassin's Creed Odysseys and Valhalla as well.
Valhalla I played.
But to me, Valhalla wasn't the best of it. I think Odyssey was a finer representation of it than Odyssey. But needless to say, I think the standard that this game has set, you can no longer do another Valhalla or a game like it, because this basically supersedes it in almost every way. It's kind of made that one quaint. It's no longer enough. You know what I mean?
You know, I got the one in why can't I think of the name? The last Assassin's Creed, the one in Japan.
Oh yeah. Shadows.
Yeah, I've actually never played it. I bought it on day one. I meant to get to it. I never got to it.
Damn, you should play it. But again, maybe play it further removed from this, because it is a genuinely awesome game. No doubt. It is a genuinely awesome game. But it is so close in its systems to AC that it makes it difficult to separate them sometimes.
Yeah, so two things. I had to highlight Aaron's slander.
Oh yeah, because the slander needs to continue. Good job, sir.
But Aaron.
Yeah.
I just want to know if Aaron actually played this game.
Yeah.
Right. And I want to know if he chews his own food or he needs other people to chew it for him. Right. Like the meta for this game is based on the state of the game that was available in the review period. Right. They've since made many updates. Even the 1.0 is probably better than what was reviewed. And if you look at what the complaints were, it was a lot of issues that have already been solved. And people,
he says he has no interest. He has no interest in it, but the score is the score.
Okay, so then, I mean, if you only play games based on what Metacritic tells you to play, then I guess it's not for you. But personally, I like to chew my own food. So if I were reviewing that game, being 20 hours in so far, it would be a lot higher than 77.
Yeah.
That's just me.
I honestly think this game sets many standards. I think it like anyone who's played this game to any real extent. If you are a gamer who has a lot of
Also,
gaming
if
experience,
you have no interest in the game, why would you call it a dumbed down Witcher 3 if you didn't play it?
well, there's that.
I think somebody has an axe to grind.
Yeah, and of course, as the great infinite game genie points out, there's no way that we know that there's a world where obviously the critical review or critical reception rather is different than the audience reception, right? This is one of those situations where it's completely disjointed, where if you've played it, you have a higher sense of it than the reviews make it, right? I would actually challenge this. I would say that this game challenges that notion that the initial review is set. This should have been provisional, and maybe we should challenge people to re-review this and see how what it would get in today's world, like right now after these updates. But hey, that may never happen. But I think it's worth it, because this is CDPR worthy, and what I mean by that is systems upon systems, clean systems that really interoperate well with each other. You know, a deep story that may not be like Shakespeare, but man, it's a lot of story right there. There's a lot of systems on display. You can do so much, and it's well executed. Like, this is something I've expected from CDPR. This is how they roll most of the time. Also very buggy at start. How they roll, we know, right? But to me, they are one of the greatest developers of our time currently, because they're able to create those really big worlds, deep, detailed worlds. Y'all know how much I love Cyberpunk. This is that level of ingenuity and talent and depth. So I really think this is amazing. And the score is completely like different, like opposite of what this thing really is. So I'm not even really paying attention to that score. If you look at on YouTube at any time right now, if you have any kind of gaming taste, you know exactly what this is. This is the second coming of Elden Ring as far as all the zeitgeist movement you're getting. Every 5 seconds is a new video about where to find some shield or find the fan or whatever else, right? It's really cool. It's really, really cool. So I think more people should play it.
Don't play games, play Metacritic.
Yeah. We try not to do that. We try to step away and not play Metacritic. We observe Metacritic from afar with a side eye, but the games are the games. We like to play them and make our own statements on it, right? So a Bunk Pie says he wants quick resume on PC announcement at the Xbox showcase this year. Honestly, like I would say like it's more likely than not. It's more likely than not. It's pretty interesting. I've seen a lot of very, very cool attempts at quick resume on PC, and because those attempts have gotten various results and some of them have gotten pretty well versed in making that happen, I'm actually more excited to see that Microsoft probably could pull that off right at this point, because there have been a lot of third-party attempts in different ways that look to do it pretty well. So I hope they're watching. If they're not, they should be, because there's a lot of really interesting things going on out there. But let me catch up on a couple of these chats, and then we'll get back to it. A few of them building up here. Let's see. We have Parasite Eve 82 Green 19, who's been a member for 9 months. He says, "Hey K, Everborn Saga, and Ka and chat. Good morning, sir. Hope you're doing well. Hope all is well. And then, of course, we have the great 108 Dragon Stevie with a $2 super chat. He says, if Everborn plays Crimson, he will have no home. LOL. Yeah, you got
to. He's not all the way wrong.
I know it's a productivity killer. It is what it is. I'll attest. It is a productivity killer. Since that game has been out, my productivity has been a little bit. Hope people aren't listening. It is what it is. And then we have the J-Mac, the great J-Mac with a $5 super chat. He says, shout out to the Twice Intellectual Gaming Podcast. KSante Everborn Saga, salute, gentlemen. Gray Beards in the building. Xbox World Order fully operational. We're going to talk about that world order, because I feel like that deserves a conversation today. 108, once again, $2 super chat. He says, we don't get old, we level up. Facts.
Hey.
You know what it is.
Hey.
And of course, J-Mac, once again, $2 super chat. He says the hashtag graybeards are the hardcore hashtag graybeard. Bro, we look. Not all of us are as quick with the fingers as we used to be in the gaming space, and as such, some of us have veered away. But I think we still offer a lot to this community, and we appreciate y'all for continuing to rock with us. Now, of course, One Way Dragons TV with another one. He says Metacritic don't mean shit. It's the gamers' opinions that matter. Keep following that, and you will miss out on great games. Good luck. LOL. I'll add the facts to the end of that because the man is speaking it. It is what it is. But yes, that is no joke. I completely agree. I think that Metacritic has a place, but to make it the arbiter of what it is, like to make it like, oh, it decides what is truth and what is good, is always misguided, I think. So Everborn Saga, before we head into some stories proper, I have to pull a quick audible because I saw this in the chat some time ago, and I thought, this is something I want
to. That's fine. Last thing before we move to that question, it's actually an 88 for the user score.
Oh, okay, so it's risen. Okay, so there you go.
But again, if you base your standards on games that you haven't played by what reviewers say, then you can say you're not interested. You can't say you don't like it if you didn't play it.
So here's a question I want to ask you, and it's actually not my question. It is my question, but it's inspired by the one with the low heart rate, who's not the console warrior, the Great East Side Vandal, who says Everborn has now been anointed by Andor. With that, sir, I want us to quickly have a small on the real divergence. Talk to the people about Andor, sir, because you just started. Are you done with season 1?
I finished season 1 on Thursday. I had to take care of some work late last night, so I didn't get to start season 2, but that is in my plan for this evening. This might be the best thing Star Wars has done since at least Rogue One, but I would say maybe Return of the Jedi. It is that good. It is that grounded. If you are a Dune fan, like, this is for you, right? It's not about lightsabers. It's not about like cute, like animatronics.
You will never see a lightsaber. You will never see a lightsaber in the whole show. That is a spoiler I will give you right now. You will never see lightsabers.
So to me, this shows the roots of the rebellion against the Empire. And the toll it took, and it shows you what radicalized Cassian Andor, and all of it. The way it plays out is like you're watching an episode of the best Game of Thrones stuff. It is just really good.
Yeah. Now the great expansion pass. Shout out to Luke Lore, whose interview we'll be talking about today. By the way, great expansion pass. He did an interview. Luke Lore did an interview with Ed Freeze that came out not too long ago. A lot of great nuggets of information. We're going to dig into it as well. But shout out to you, good sir.
So to Luke and his comment about Andor. See, I never felt like it was slow. I felt like it builds tension excellently, and there's different crescendos, right? Because there's the heist, then there's the prison thing, and then there's the funeral.
It's like a bowstring being pulled back slow.
Right. And
it's
all
so
of it,
good.
like,
Yes,
especially the dialogue. It is just, you know what I mean? And the sort of irony of it all, like, you know, there's somebody who can't swim, if you know what I mean, for season 1, right? Like the irony of anyway, I don't want to like spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen it, but you know what I mean when I say the person who can't swim. And it's just that kind of thing that just, it's almost mathematical in the way these things.
For those who've seen season 2, here's blasphemy slander that I will provide. Season 2 of Andor makes season 1 look like season 1 of Halo. Not even fit. not even fit.
Uh, so
Season 2 is so much better in every
so
way possible.
so Judah roars. Judah roars says no lightsabers and no force powers means it's not Star Wars. It's just some space show. This tells me
Mm,
that you're not really into Star Wars like that. If you think that that's all Star Wars is, I think a big part of the problem with Star Wars is it's been too focused on the Skywalkers and the
mm,
Jedi saga when the world is way bigger than that, right? The whole point is Luke joining the rebellion, and this is showing you the rebellion and how,
mm.
you know what I mean.
Yeah. Well,
So
look, I will push back on you what you're saying, Everborn, and say there are levels to Star Wars because it hasn't always just been this. This is the places where you and I connect and we really appreciate it. But there are places, there are those who just love the pew pew and the Skywalkers and the cool lightsaber battles. For them, there are still other levels. Like the new Maul show is also freaking awesome, right? And it
yes,
serves that purpose as well, right? There are levels to it.
and I say this as someone who has been down on Star Wars since The Last Jedi, right? I just have
Yeah.
not been, except for like Mandalorian, maybe season 1, but
Yeah, that was great too. Yeah.
I've really not been good with like Ahsoka was okay, Acolyte was really bad. I didn't hate what was the one with Ewan McGregor, like Obi-Wan?
I didn't like that one. That's probably the
I
only
didn't
one
like it. I
I
didn't like it, but I didn't hate it.
did not like it.
I did hate young Leia because she was very annoying, but
It was a little
again,
navel gazy. Too much
yeah.
freaking pauses and looking in the camera. You know.
So again, I do think this is adult Star Wars,
Yes.
and if you just want the explosions in Star Wars as a popcorn flick, then sure,
Mm.
this takes a deeper look into the universe, and to me, this is what Star Wars should be. But everybody's tastes are different.
True, true, true. But I mean, if you are one who likes mature Star Wars, if you are one who thinks that Rogue One specifically was one of the better Star Wars movies, this is for you. You will love this stuff. It's mature, it is dense. Like it happens to have been made at a time that it kind of just aligns with some like realities on the ground of today. And you're just like, when you're done, you're just like, damn, it is quite something. It's spectacular viewing.
Right, and then I watched the beginning of the new Mall show. Very
Mhm.
well done, very high
Mhm.
production.
I watched episode one.
animation.
Yeah, I watched episode one.
It's very like
Mhm.
definitely worth your time. Now, the other thing I want to talk to you about is Daredevil Born Again season 2.
Yeah, let's talk about that real quick before we move on. Yes, indeed, yes.
This is welcome to the Disney Plus shilling hour.
Podcast. That's right, the Disney Plus podcast. That's right.
But
Yes.
yeah, so I've been keeping up with. I also started The Boys last night, but the missus
Oh yeah, I
got
haven't
tired
started that yet.
and we watched that together, so I couldn't finish the first episode, so we can talk about it more next week.
Mhm.
But Daredevil season 2, Born Again season 2. I was really high on Daredevil Born Again season 1, and it
Mhm.
wasn't even because it was a superhero show or because whatever. I actually enjoyed that show more when it was
When he's Matt Murdock.
when
Yeah.
he's Matt Murdock, when he's outside of the costume, and so because it was just a very good crime drama.
Yes,
Right?
yes. Very drum
And
heavy, very pulpy. It was really good. Yeah.
right, and there's, I don't want to get into the politics of it, but there's a lot of similes between Wilson Fisk and the anti-vigilante task force and some
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
things we're seeing in our
Mhm.
society today. And it was all grounded, it was all well done. And when I first started watching season 2, I was very excited for it, but it just, something felt off about it. Like the action, it's very action heavy season 2.
Mhm.
The actions, the core fight choreography is really good, but I feel like it was more about explosions and fight scenes than the story just felt less authentic than you know what the first one was until you get to episode 4, which I won't ruin for you. And now there's this whole conspiracy theory that the Watcher was in the latest episode because there was a broken glass that Daredevil jumped through, and the angle of the broken glass and the 2 lights that were on the ceiling look like the shape of the Watcher.
And we watched an episode then.
Yeah. And then someone from Marvel said the Watcher is always watches, right?
Confirmed it. Okay.
But I don't know. No. I actually don't know. Okay, if the director said it was him, that's fine. All I saw was the Instagram post with someone from
all you gotta tell me now is when the shape of the Watcher, tell me it's Jeffrey Wright, and I will lose my mind. I'll fall off my chair right now. Oh,
no. It's not that. This is not. So I actually I know it was an Instagram post, but I thought that was just the director having fun with viewers, just because the shot made it look like that, not actually that the Watcher was there. But that is how the Watcher would show up, right, in the shadow of something. So I thought that was really interesting. But yeah, I'm back into the show. My biggest issue with this season is the way they were portraying New York was very CW style, and they were trying to be gritty. And I just didn't. I live in New York, so I'm like, this is not authentic, right? And the first season felt more authentic, so I was down on it. But then episode 4 happened, and I'm like, oh.
And you're like,
when I was getting out, you pulled me right back in.
That's right. I too was like you. Like when season 2 started, especially considering that as we talk about all the time on Discord and whatnot, there's some juxtaposing of the art that's going on that we're watching right now compared to real life and all that. So as you and I have vibed on say Andor, for example, I felt like season 2 was a bit more heavy. It seemed to come off a bit more heavy-handed with the.
That's what made it feel less authentic.
That's right. It came like, oh, us too. Look at what we're doing, right? That's how it felt. But then, of course, episode 4 showed up, and I'm like, all right, never mind. We good. We very good. So y'all, we should do, like, when it's all said and done, we should do like a recap and do spoilers.
We always say this and we never do it. Or I
know, but we end up doing it in the Discord in one shape or form or fashion.
That is true.
Probably what we'll do. Yeah. One last thing I will say before we leave on the reel, and I'll bring myself to the court, and I'll bring myself to the court ready for slander. I will, but I've corrected it since then, so that's fine. I haven't said anything to anybody, but this is the week when I corrected my backlog mistake, and I watched, because I had already watched part 1, but I watched both 1 and 2 side by side. What am I talking about? Dune. I hadn't watched Dune 2 yet. Okay. I hadn't watched Dune 2.
Oh, that's something.
I had to watch Dune 2. I had not watched Dune. I'd watched 1.
On IMAX, man.
Well, so I watched it. I have a projector. I watched it on the projector back there. Nighttime was cool. Anyway, I get it. IMAX would have been better, but it is what it is. It's really good, like really good. Like I get it now because so for those who weren't part of the conversation in our Discord, we're having this debate about who should move as far as Dune 3 versus Doomsday, right? Because two juggernauts.
My argument is not who should move, is that someone should move.
That someone should move because they'll both lose money
trying to get the same day. Yeah,
they'll both lose money. I get it, right? So what basically what came about is because we were having those conversations, people were like, "Oh, well, there's no reason why Dune should move. Have you seen the show? Have you seen it? They've established themselves. Obviously, they've captured they've been able to acquire all the." Shout out to IMAX. They've acquired all the IMAX screens and all that, right? So I'm like, hey, when you all were having that conversation, I'm in the backlog in the back of my head going, I haven't seen Dune 2. I should really fix this.
This is why you were so quiet.
Yes, I was watching Dune 2.
I was like, Kay Sante is conspicuously quiet on this. He normally would have asserted himself.
I had to watch Dune 2.
I read the Dune books back in the day. No, but go ahead.
Anyway, let's move on, shall we? But yes.
I get it now. This is a wholehearted disagree, Hollywood Rules. every movie needs IMAX, and IMAX has been carrying the theater industry, and they don't need. Here's the
Uh,
problem. Even if it doesn't need, it does. I disagree with that. But even if I did agree with you, this is not a Barbenheimer situation where it's counter programming, right? One kind of person that sees one is not going to want to see the other, right? Films going to the movies cost so much these days, and the overlap. Think of a Venn diagram of people who are interested in the MCU and Doomsday and people who are interested in Dune,
mm.
right? They're both adaptations. Like they're it is. Some people are going to have to make a choice. We might be able to go back. Some of us have the AMC A list, but a lot of people are going to be like, all right, I'm going to the movies
I
this
think
month.
I think what he's saying is for the money that they're going to make, they don't need that.
Yeah, but
There are more standard screens than there are IMAX screens, and for the money, the take home money that they need, they don't that they need to succeed. They don't need that.
I disagree. Um, and,
He
but
says Doomsday is gonna make a billion.
yeah, it's gonna make a billion regardless. I don't think you're let me not say what you don't understand. I don't think you're taking into account how much money RDJ is getting paid for this thing. It can't just make $1 billion, right? This is a situation where one of these films could have made 1.5, but they end up only making 1 billion, or they could have made 2 billion, but they only make 1.3, right?
So you
People,
know what, Everborn? I will agree with you, but I will disagree with you in one way. In one way and one way only. Okay. As a Marvel zombie from way back that I have admitted being on here, right? I'm a like seriously. And they have treaded on all sacred ground except one. Except one. There's one bit of sacred ground that you'll get graybeards to line up at the theaters and go, oh my God, I can't wait to see it. Is when they bring Marvel, when they bring the MCU, and they bring the Foxverse together.
that's what
And
Doom.
this is
That's
that.
Doomsday. Yeah.
Right?
Like
So while I hear
X-Men versus
you,
Avengers.
while I hear you on, hey, you know, Dune is out here, and I just watched like the first and the second. When you watch them back to back, they are epic in their execution. Wow, very well done. But even for this graybeard, when you tell me that the MCU is coming together with the Foxverse, like finally in a real way, and it's not like new characters, it's the original characters that you remember, the original actors that like, nah, fam, I don't care if this isn't the shoebox. People will go over and over
I
to see.
understand, but you also understand the price of IMAX tickets also affects the box office, right? If people are going to
That is
see
true.
it in small format screens, they're not going to be paying as much. And all I am saying is
Mm.
another reason a lot of these movies make multiple billions of dollars is repeat viewings. And if you're interested in both movies, maybe you would have saw Doomsday 3 times, but you only see it 1 time because now you got to go see Dune 3, right?
Yeah.
I'm just saying the films have too much overlap in the
Truth be
audience,
told,
and
in that
they
world,
are.
go ahead, finish your point.
No. I think they are taking from each other, and they should have at least a 3-week window apart.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. But obviously they're choosing to stick with what they've got. You know, they're they're
Right.
locked
And
in.
if
No one's
it
gonna
was
move.
such a slam dunk
Mm-hmm.
for Doomsday, then Dune wouldn't have won the IMAX thing because IMAX wants to make the most money possible. Right.
And Sly Crow makes a good point, and I was actually going to make a similar point. He says, "Do people even watch movies again with these prices?" Though I would add, with the prices and the advent of digital that quickly gets these movies shortly after it releases. Right, it is now a mainstay that shortly after the movie release in theaters, it is hitting your subscription service of one kind or another, or being made available to rental services. Right, and that is now a mainstay in the zeitgeist. So I don't think the repeat viewing of your happens as frequently as it used to. I agree with you.
It doesn't. And let me come back to.
I'm sorry. Apologies. Go ahead. You drive
I
it.
want to come back to See, and I understand. This is Doctor Doom. I'm not disagreeing. I just think the two films will thrive, but I just
Mhm.
think this, and we're not disagreeing. We're just like having a conversation on it. But the two films will thrive. The question is, could Doomsday be a $2 billion movie, and now it's a 1.5? And I do think that's a loss. And I think it's an unforced error if that is the case, because you could have separated them out,
He's
right?
basically saying that Jay-Z and Nas should never release albums at the same time because it will always cannibalize each other's sales.
That actually happened during the pandemic. The Jay-Z
I know it did. I
album,
remember. This is why I'm using this.
Nas's album, yes.
This is why I'm doing this, because the idea is that it'll cannibalize their sales, and they know that the same audience would have bought all of each or the other. So it is a theory. It is a theory. It is what it is. I feel you on that. Okay. But all right, so before we move on, let me catch up on a couple of more of these super chats. They are growing and we are building here. Let's see. Hollywood Rules. He has a $2 super chat. He says, "Wait, you didn't watch Andor? You are in for a treat." Yes. I am jealous of Everborn that he hasn't seen season 2. I wish I could go watch season 2 now.
I will have season 2 fully watched before the show next week. I've been doing 2 episodes a night, so I started around this time last weekend, and I finished it on Thursday. So I expect something similar to happen with season 2.
J Mac, $2 super chat. He says Daredevil and Darth Maul are both pretty good. I agree. At least the Darth Maul episode 1 I've seen. That was
Disney Plus is earning their subscription money this month. I'll tell you right now.
Indeed they are. Absolutely. Hollywood Rules is back with the $2 super chat. He says, Maul, watch it. I'm saying, but Andor is next level, and he's right. I would definitely say that Maul is great viewing. Like, and this is where I was talking to you about it, everyone, right? Not everyone is about the Andor style, the Rogue One style of Star Wars, but the IP has matured enough to a state where you can have that mature content while still having Maul and other shows of its kind in it that also
I'd actually argue Maul, even though it's animated, is very mature
and good. Yeah, it's also pretty mature and good. But it also appeases the explosions crowd. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to make. It will appease the explosions crowd more than, say, Andor will. There's minimal explosions in Andor. There are some, but there's minimal. You know.
I got to get back to Invincible.
Yeah, me too.
I haven't actually seen season 3, and now we're on season 4, I think. So I'm like 2 seasons behind.
Hollywood Rules with the $2 super chat. He finishes it off by saying Invincible, Daredevil, and the Boys, Maul, Geek Heaven. Absolutely.
Don't forget the Mario movie is in theaters right now.
Yeah, which I also really appreciated. I enjoyed that. Did you see that? Have you seen it yet, everyone?
No, I was supposed to see it last week, and then this week I'm sick, and then I was also supposed to go see Project Hail Mary, but
yeah, I haven't seen that either. I've heard I've seen trailers from it, things like that. I have not seen the movie. I hear it's very good. People are talking so highly about it. Okay. But yeah, that is our on the real roundup. We love talking movies and TV shows and things, and these days we don't get a chance to do it as much on the official podcast. So from time to time we'll talk about it on Discord and things like that. But yeah, we about that movie life. We watching it all the time and stuff like that. But all right, so let's get back to the gaming conversations, as it were. First and foremost, let me first off thank all the folks that are continuing to be here rocking with us. I see there are over 200 and change, almost 250 from all the various platforms. I see over 160 some odd on the GCP channel. So thank y'all for being here. Try to hit that like button if you haven't done so already. You know, we're trying to appease that algorithm, make sure that it allows more folks to see what we are doing here. So please, if you can do that for us, we appreciate you. I think I see 67 so far likes. We can get that to a little higher. More people watching. So thank y'all so much. But yeah, let's see. Let's get to the first story that I want to talk to you about, Everborn Saga. This is the whole thing with Ed Freeze, and once again, I will say shout out to the great Xbox expansion pass, the former Xbox expansion pass. Which, by the way, Luke, I may want to have a conversation with you about that, and that may be something we want to talk about later. And you'll see where I'm going as far as this trend I'm seeing here. This is day one, formerly Xbox era, covering the interview by the expansion pass, formerly Xbox expansion pass. You see where I'm going here, everyone. Talking about the great interview with Ed Freeze, but from outfits and organizations that are removing Xbox from their names. I'm wondering what's going on. We need to have a conversation about that.
Well, I mean, look, the console war is dead, right?
Mm. But I don't think the console war is why those names were
I do understand, but like they created them under the umbrella of the Xbox brand, and this is their own brands. These guys are trying to do this thing for real. And it's never a good idea to have your brand be synonymous with
another someone. Yeah, absolutely.
Now you're subject to the whims of another company that is outside of your control. So we didn't call this show the Xbox Circle. Like I don't know if that doesn't make sense, but you know what I'm saying? Like you can cover more. We're all multifaceted human beings. Most of us, especially in the 4%, that is the people who buy at least a game a month, which is probably everybody who listens to this show. Most of us own multiple things. So you might be a fan of one or the other, but if you're locking yourself into one, then like I understand it. Now it does feel like end of an era. Xbox.
It's happening in mass, it's happening on mass a little bit. Yeah.
So and like I understand the business need for it, and it makes perfect sense, but it is hard for me to separate it from, the brand has had issues over the years, and tying your brand to a brand that people are very down on. This is why you want to step out on your own, and you can still love the brand and cover the brand in the same way. But you don't want to be subject to the whims of people's opinions that are outside of your control. So, but like I said, the brand has taken a beating in the media over the last couple of years. So I do also think that is what is tied to these things. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I will be asking folks. I hope to see Luke and a few other folks in June. I will be asking for them to give me a bit more details on that. I just think it's not interesting necessarily, but I would like to hear their reason and their rationale for it. It's happening more and more now as we're seeing. So it's just something that I've noticed. Before we move on and get fully into this story, Parasite 82 Green 19 with a £2 super chat, or is that pound or euro? I was confused the two. I think it's pound. But he says send help is easily game of the movie of the year so far, in my opinion.
I did not like it that much.
Okay. Parasite, how about you join the Discord? Let's have a nice little debate about that, because we tend to
I didn't hate it.
Okay.
I just didn't like it that much. But it was like, it had all the Sam Raimi-isms, which I love Sam Raimi as a director. So it was a fun watch, but I liked it, but I can't say that I loved
it. Okay, understood. Now I haven't seen Send Help yet, so I need to put it on my list. So let's double back on this story right now, which I really think people should watch. Go and watch the full interview. But I just want to pick out a few parts that I thought were really, really cool and really interesting to discuss. It like, as you know, Luke, if you've ever seen Luke do interviews, the man's got a way about it. He has a swagger about him. He's very, very discerning, very, humble delivery. So it's very, very easy to get people to talk to him. And, he definitely uses that to full extent here. I hear he's also re-interviewing, what's his name? Darn it, the father of Xbox. What's the man's name? Oh man.
Sorry, just really
It's,
quick.
okay.
You're talking about Shane Blackley, but
Yes, I am.
just to Parasite 82 Green 19, I actually went in cold. I knew nothing about it until I watched it. It was recommended to me by, shout out to Sycamore from the Discord community. He just told me to watch it. So it's a horror movie, and I try to watch horror's been pretty slow this year. If I'm like, it was a lot of great stuff last year, but yeah, I went in cold, so I did not know what to expect.
But yes, needless to say, he's interviewing Seamus Blackley, which also debuts, I think, today, if not tomorrow, for early access folks, and then it'll debut a few days later. But this interview is really, really excellent. It's basically right after the interviews, right after the announcements had happened about Asha Sharma taking over and all that. Obviously, if you know who Ed Freeze is, he's part of the core team. He's part of Seamus Blackley. He was when Seamus and team finally got the first prototype working. Ed was the first person they went to basically, he was the first gatekeeper. They needed him to buy in order for it to take off and become a thing, and he of course championed it into everything that it has become since then and all that. So he has since left the company. He's doing other things, but I will let folks really encourage folks to go and watch the whole thing. Really poignant interview. He talks about his love of games and all of that. But the two parts that I really want to dig into that I thought was really cool, that one I think I want to get your opinion on, is part one of it that he I wouldn't say it reveals. We all kind of knew this in the documentary that they released before, but the Xbox, the Direct Xbox, which that's what it's called, Direct Xbox, right? They dropped a Direct before it came out. The OG Direct Xbox that was the prototype that eventually dropped the Direct on and eventually came to retail. That original one could play PC games. It was always meant to play PC games, as has been described by Ed Freeze in this interview. It was basically a PC that was shrouded to look like a console. That's how. To
that end, this is why, like, I always get into whatever's about the semantics about what is a console and what's not, and just because something can play PC games as a console. But if you actually look at what the original Xbox was and what its go-to-market strategy was, after the video game crash of 1980 something, Nintendo stepped into the market. Like video games and consoles were a Western thing before that, right? We had the Atari, we had the Amiga, we had those things. And then the video game market crashes with ET famously, and it's Nintendo that brings it back, right? And then you got Sega coming into the thing, and then Sony comes in, and they're in the console space, just basically dominating what it is to be a game console. And when Xbox came in, its claim to fame, aside from Halo, right, and the other mainstay things, was that its pitch to developers was to bring their PC ports to the living room, right? A lot of the OG Xbox games were games that were on PC that had never come to console yet. And so, I mean, it's that, and Sega worked with Microsoft to get a lot of their stuff over there because they had the relationship from the Windows CE operating system thing. But I say this to say, them going PC is just them getting back to their roots. And we never called the OG Xbox a PC, even though it had an Ethernet port, and even though it was the vehicle for a lot of traditionally PC games at the time to get into the living room.
It's funny. It's serendipitous you take us on this journey of history, because that's exactly what Ed did in this interview as well. He talks about,
I didn't even watch the interview.
I know. It's exactly where you went. It's exactly where he goes in this, and talks about the crash. He talks about the crash specifically in this interview. Talks about Nintendo bringing them back, right? Exactly at the same line. And also talks about how they have always been intertwined in PC-ness since day one, right? And that's actually why I thought this would be a pertinent thing to bring up to you, because I know you've been like paying attention to the back and forth conversation about whether it's a PC versus this or versus that. A lot of the folks way back when who now fight back on the notion of whether this is a PC or it's a console, they won't fight on the notion that the Xbox OG is a console. They won't, right? They won't fight that battle at all because they feel that it's a PC, it's a console. But even with this knowledge, that tells you it's always been also a PC. Right, like as from the original developers of it, you know.
Shout out to Parasite 82 Green 19. Always a pleasure to have you, sir. Thank you for all your comments and all that jazz. Have a good rest of your weekend.
Indeed, yeah. No, this is super interesting. You know, like I think this interview serves to break some of those narratives that people go, well, they used to make consoles, now they're just making PCs. No, they've always made console/PCs. They were just leaning heavier on one side before, and now they're planning on leaning a little bit heavier on the other side a bit more. But by and large, the essence of it is still the same. That's basically what this interview is.
Yeah, and I think, like, even if you look at, you know, I see a comment here, right? Mm-hmm. So one thing to understand is back in those days, right? The OG Xbox, it was x86. And you know, these were very close to off-the-shelf parts, and they were using DirectX, right? Mm-hmm. They moved away from that for the 360.
Yes.
Right.
And why did they move away from that for 360? Because on the OG Xbox, it was too PC-like. And let me tell you how I know this, because we were taking that thing and we were turning it into insane other devices. People were modding the OG Xbox to crazy extent. Even their security layer that they had built in, the XB layer, that whole thing was really easy to circumvent, because at the core of it, they were just PC games that were being modified and turned into console. So no, it was easy to crack. Very, very easy to crack. That's why during the 360 gen, what did they do? They went to a different ecosystem that would not line up with x86, making it far more difficult to crack. They still cracked it, but it was far more difficult to crack, right? So the idea that was it ported, was the same? No. Yeah, that was for your retail benefit to let you think it's a console, but it was really just a PC in wolf's clothing, kind of.
Yeah, so just to take that further, even today, if you're developing on PC versus the Xbox store, 90% of it is all the same code.
Exactly.
Right? And you know, it's still using DirectX, and there's some slight things that you have to do on the console, and the difference on the console is you're targeting a specific spec, so you can optimize for that when people choose to do it. But a lot of the times, the reason that the Xbox Series, even though it was theoretically more powerful than the PlayStation, is that a lot of dev teams didn't really have the time to optimize on the Series hardware, and so they basically just gave you what they were doing on the PC. It's not one-to-one, but what they're doing for Helix is just saying it was 90% the same, now it's going to be 100% the same, right? Which again is someplace that they've been trying to get from the beginning.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, and even to this day, to this very day, and shout out to Xbox Lord Chaos, I see you. Even to this very day, if you want to be that person that plays in those waters, Microsoft has always kept that lineage. You can create a dev mode environment and still do all that crazy PC-ness that you want to do, still currently on that hardware, even though they've been better about being able to segregate the console-ness and the PC-ness. But they've always been able to stand side by side, right? So it just looks like they're just trying, and in the interview that Ed Freeze here points out, the reason why it started with a PC that played like a console, but ultimately went somewhere in the middle, is because at the time they were executing on that from a hardware perspective, they didn't have the overhead, they didn't have the RAM overhead, they didn't have the hardware overhead of the day, which early 2000, mid 90s, right? Because it released in 2001. So they were ideating all of this for some time to get there. At that time, the price of admission for all those components were not where they were recently, where you can have a lot of overhead. So eventually, the decision was made to cut some of those features back, and eventually, it ended up kind of in the hodgepodge PC console world they're in now. And it always worked that way, so they kept it that way. But the original vision had there being full overhead so that they could run PC games in a console format. Right. So this, and again, please go rewatch this interview. Great interview. So candid, tells so much. This is them going back to that original vision, right? Which is
I mean, at the end of the day, your current Xbox today is running on a Windows kernel. Windows 10, I believe. I don't think they updated the kernel yet. But it is running on a Windows kernel with a custom shell. That is what's happening.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go out on a limb here. A lot of us are calling the next Xbox a PC. I actually believe, and you can mark my words here, it will be a similar situation to what we have today, meaning it's going to be a fully custom shell. You're not going to have to deal with like Windows settings and things like that. But the binaries that it runs will be Windows executables.
Yeah. Because they can do that.
And that will, by its very definition, make it a console because it will have that custom UI.
Yeah.
Right?
I agree.
So a lot of people they think that like whatever you have on the Xbox Ally is going to be what you have on the next Xbox. I don't believe that to be the case. I think on PC, because they're going to be running the same executables, they're going to want the UI of the Xbox app to closely resemble what is on the console, but the console will still be a console that happens to run Windows executables.
Yeah. Another part of this interview that I thought was super interesting that he touched on a bit was how they negotiate exclusives and what the consumer should expect about Microsoft and their exclusive posture in the world we live in right now versus when he was doing things, right? He basically lays it out, like at some point in the interview, lays it out point blank, like, look, you can't have that conversation with people. They'll be as agreeable as you want them to be, because when Microsoft first entered this market, the likes of Square and the rest of them really, really wanted Microsoft to enter this market because they needed competition for Sony, right? But at the end of the day, you couldn't get them to be like, hey, how about you build this for me? Because at the end of the day, what's the budget? What's the ROI on the 1 + 1 = 2 on making a game that costs this much money and expecting it to only be on my platform, which, oh, by the way, does not have all of the eyeballs on it. It was just very well executed, very well framed. Again, I want people to go watch this thing. It's very cool. Fills in a lot of gaps that people might not necessarily understand, or he explains it in a very well thought out way that I think would help people who are trying to understand this kind of thing. So yeah, I think this is a really, really cool interview that people should be checking out. This is the Ed Freeze interview from the Expansion Pass. And of course, this article is by way of day one. So there's that. Now, Everborn Saga, let's move on. Honestly, where we're going to be moving on to, there's some Xbox negative news here and there that I want to get your opinion on. But before we do that, let's talk about the Asha Sharma and her abilities in this space, right? Because I've heard a lot of people talking about, the energy is different. Now, even I can tell that the energy in the community has shifted with her ascension and all of that. And there seems to be they're throwing some more attention at the Xbox console community, and there's a lot more attention in that way that's happening, right? So people are taking a lot of that to mean that, she's brought about a season of change, and we're going to start seeing different things. And I've seen a lot of conversation about exclusives and all these other things, right. So what I want to jump into here is what the recent bound of this conversation happened because they changed the achievement system, which I don't know if you've been paying attention. Do you even care about achievements anymore? These days you spend a lot of time on the Gabe train. Are you a Gabe
The house of Father Gabe. No, the only achievements I do care about are Xbox achievements. I don't care about Steam achievements, and I don't care about PlayStation trophies. However, I've been primarily playing on Steam these days.
Okay.
I'm glad to see they're doing this. And there's another update for the game bar that I think you have on the list for us to talk about in a minute with the mouse cursor or whatever. But I think this is good. I also think that all of this was already in the works because you can't spin any of this up this fast. And so this is just her executing on the existing plan. But the way they go to market now is where I would give her the credit, and the idea of keeping, this sort of Operation Rolling Thunder style marketing, where it's all right, we're going to give you a taste today, then we're going to announce something else, and then we're going to announce something else. It's the way they're rolling it out and speaking to the public, which was the thing that the previous leadership was exceptionally bad at. Much as we love Phil and Sarah, they weren't great at talking to the public.
So that's the part that I wanted to talk to you about, and I appreciate that you leaning into that. Right, I feel like, and I like you break it down well, because I agree with you on that. I feel like it's about delivery more than anything else. But somewhere in some circles, I feel like sometimes it sounds like they think that whole cloth came from her, and that's where I'm just
that you're always gonna have
these wheels don't turn as quickly as all that. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like these wheels don't spin that quickly with her ascension.
Right.
There would have to have been some existing framework that she can continue in order to get this.
What you cannot do is update a almost 20-year-old achievement system in 2 months, right? That was obviously already in the works, but it just comes back to why in hindsight I think like certain changes needed to be made, because if Phil announced or Sarah announced all the same things that everybody's excited about now, people would still be mad about the old stuff that they promised that they didn't do. But now that you have a new face, right? Now that you have a new face delivering the same message, it feels fresh.
Feels like we've turned the page. Yep. I don't disagree with you. Now,
sometimes when that is the case, that means you've lost the public confidence, and it means you need to make a change, even if the plan was sound.
So one thing though about the Xbox overhaul, right? The achievement overhaul. Do you recall that they mothballed the plan like some years ago to overhaul the Xbox achievements?
Yeah, but even then, I think those were going further than what this does. Like, what did this
exactly?
Really
yes, this is my point. This is exactly what I'm about to say. Yes, thank you, sir. Right, I feel like a lot of attention is being paid to this overhaul, and I appreciate the fact that attention is being paid. Period. But when they did this overhaul back in the day,
I'm sorry,
what they proposed then was way bigger.
Shout out to Sycamore. He has entered the chat, and there's no chance I'm highlighting that comment. But shout out to Sycamore.
We're gonna let that one ride. Oh man, all right. But the point I'm making, like, I was part of one of the initial test phases when they were doing that first overhaul that eventually they mothballed. Eventually, some of the assets were kept. Like, like if you check some of the avatars, you'll see that they now have dashikis and stuff. That was all part of the initial overhaul 2.0 from back in the day that they mothballed. But what I meant by that overhaul, they were talking about giving achievements for being a community ambassador, like helping other people with games. They were talking about people being able to nominate other people for good guy achievements, things like that. You know what I mean? They were really trying to renovate how achievements were working for community purpose. And for one reason or another, they mothballed that whole thing. And some of the assets were kind of thrown into the mix, and they've been there ever since. Right now, at least from what I'm seeing here, they just kind of added some new animations to the existing achievements, and it looks like there may be more down the line. Am I
Yeah, I
wrong in
mean,
that?
no, it's a start, and I think
Mm,
they're doing these back end things. I think in service of a larger UI overhaul that is probably in the works, and it's that also seems to be the approach for the Xbox app itself, where they're doing so many like game bar things, they're doing so many
mhm.
sort of usability things, and I feel like the coat of paint that is the UI that aligns it all together will come at the end when they deal with all the back end things.
Mm.
So, I'm a lot of people have been asking for this, so I'm glad that they are doing it. But I would like to see the logical conclusion of
So
really
as
doing
you can
something
see,
significant.
real quick, as you can see, this happened in November 2022. It came from a hackathon, and they were dubbing it internally Achievement 3.0. They were going to overhaul the achievement system as to how you could get achievements, and even the look of it was going to be a bit more similar to PlayStation's achievement systems, as you can see here. They were trying to overhaul a little bit more there, right? And they were planning on building it into a handheld mode for Windows 11. This is all in 2022. Like a lot of this has been foretold. This is like a general article from November of 2022, and here we are in 2026, and all of this is coming to pass. So yeah, like this was a thing. It just doesn't seem like all of those plans like landed. The plane didn't land for all of them, but at some point they were all in the air, and some of them have landed and some didn't. So interesting, you know. But yeah, so you think this is a lot more of them kind of giving credit to the new regime because they're there when the plane landed.
Yeah, but I don't know who them is, because most people I talk to understand a lot of this stuff, like Helix and all these other things have been in the pipelines for years. So
Mm.
I don't know who is, But again, messaging has always been the issue, and I do feel like at the moment that is better. And I'll give you an example.
Okay.
You know how anytime there's some bad PlayStation news, Xbox would just, instead of letting it stew, they just find a rake to step on, like
Real quick,
within
let's help them.
yes, right? Like what has happened since PlayStation has had bad news is a series of good news announcements from Xbox, right? And so sometimes it's not what you say, but how and when you say it,
Mhm.
right? And I do
Yeah.
think so far she's been better at that than the previous leadership.
No, you're not wrong. I will definitely say I appreciate how they are posturing themselves in a messaging kind of way. Like that has always been an issue that that many of us have seen from them and have always wondered when they would get that in order. And it looks like in the newer iteration and how they move, that has been curtailed a bit, and it looks like they're moving in a different way. It's still early days for me. Like I'm looking to see what it looks like moving forward, really in a real way. But no, I do see what you're saying. I do see. I can see where you're giving them the credit, because I think they are moving in a more interesting, more depth kind of way. They're moving in a more precise, strategic kind of way, rather than seemingly what they used to do, which looked a lot like it was very much adaptive kind of posture that they used to be moving in, which it is what it is. But all right, so let us move on to the other thing that you wanted to talk about, everyone, Saga, which is the new gamepad cursor update that they've made. Go ahead and give us a bit of an update on it, because I know that was something you cared about, like pretty like so much that you actually you sought out your own solution for a time, right? Does this fix that for you?
Yeah, so there's a tool called Joy X Off,
Mm-hmm.
and it allows you to, sorry, still sick, but it allows you to use your controller as a mouse pad, like the joystick, and you can switch modes by holding the start and select keys on your controller, and then it'll switch to
Mm-hmm.
using that. And so that is a thing that a lot of people use, but what they've done now is right within settings next to your Bluetooth and Wi-Fi settings, you can now switch to uh, use the gamepad as the cursor. So now, if
Mhm.
you're in one of those weird Windows situations where you need a
Hit the
point
button and
thing, you can
mhm.
just go to the game bar and hit it, and now you're using mouse and keyboard. I
Yeah.
wish it was automatic and on by
If
default,
it
but
detects, if it detects that you can't use any other cursor, it just brings on it automatically moves to mouse.
it is still in the insider ring right now, so maybe they will update it. But I do see why it's not on by default, because then I can't use the joystick to select through menu items if it's controlling the mouse cursor.
Yeah.
So you have to manually turn it on when you need it. It takes 2 seconds, but
Yeah.
I wish it was a little bit more intuitive. But this is great to have it right there, right within your settings. Like, this is the kind of thing you want to see. I do want to say, I know people have issues with the Xbox app. I am one of said people, but I absolutely love what they've done with the game bar and the task switcher and the sort of Xbox mode itself, not the app, but the idea of killing the desktop and all that. Because I really use my PC like as a console right now, and
Mhm.
it really, that solution just works. And the weakest, and I'm using it with big picture mode. I wish I could use it with the Xbox app, but they've still got a way to go. So I'm saying all this to say, I don't think game bar and task switcher and Xbox mode get enough credit, because people just look at the Xbox PC app and lump all those things together when they are in
True. True.
fact three different things.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're not wrong. I agree with you. I actually think the mistake they made, and to the point we were making before, their messaging and their delivery, people think that FSC is all these things when FSC is just FSC is the game bar and the task switching function, right?
And turning
What
off the desk.
FSC controls and turning off the desktop, yeah. And what FSC controls and puts forth currently is the Xbox app, right? Actually, it's a funny thing. You know how what is it? Any FSC used to like replace one app with another.
Yeah.
The guys at Winhanced have been able to find a way around that. So now you can actually go into your settings like you would. Remember, you go into your settings and all you see is the Xbox app. That's all
Yeah.
you see there. Now you go into your settings, it's the Xbox app, and underneath it, it's Winhanced. You can choose Winhanced instead of the Xbox app in the
Nice.
list, right?
That's
And from there on, now that's what shows up, right? So it's getting there in a third party extent. But yeah, I'm sure that in a first party way, we're going to get more maturity in that way soon enough.
Yeah, I just love that that ability is there. So I do want to give credit where credit is due, while still, hopefully giving constructive feedback on what I think are some of the shortcomings of the
So
PC app.
let me show you what my solution for this has been all this time. And admittedly, I don't use the same solution you do, because I don't have like a PC in the living room that I consoleify. I have consoles in the living room, and I have PCs here. And I tend to play more in handheld mode than anything else. So in the way that you interface with Game Hub, I interface with that Game Bar rather. I interface in that way more with a handheld device, many different handheld devices. But I think this also works in your way as well. So before they added this solution to it, what I would install all the time, whether it be on a handheld or a PC in the living room that's using console-like UI, is a Game Bar plugin. It's specifically on the Game Bar, only on the Game Bar. A Game Bar plugin called Go Tweaks. It's a thing that's whose name has changed over time. But the long and short of it is, it gives you a lot of exactly what you are looking for, but on the Game Bar in a very like in-game, quick on-hand way. So what you're looking at here, real quick, is what you would see when you get to it in the Game Bar. So that's what the UI looks like. And all of these are customizable. So these are there because whoever took the screenshot chose to put all of these there together. So that's under the quick settings. But the reason I bring it up is, as you see, there is gamepad mode right there. You press the button and now the cursor turns into a gamepad, right? And you can control lights, you can control all these various things. And I bring this up because as you can tell, and you have a one, I know you don't play in these third party or the customized folks building it for themselves waters as much as I do. You don't do that as much, but you notice that some of these things have matured here, and now Microsoft is releasing them like properly, officially on their game bar, right? The being able to change resolutions, which I thought was very cool that they were able to do, right? And now the feature we're describing here, where they're
I didn't even get to talk about that. There's a new display widget, right? That
exactly.
allows you to do those quick things.
See, look at where that came from. It's been in GoTweaks for some time. It's great that these guys are incubating it, and then Microsoft is putting it into the official app. I think that's great.
I do want to say it is also so it does have resolution, and I'm sure GoTweaks has this as well, but it also has the how you're handling extending the monitor when you're docked right there within that setting. And so that is really good, and that is where we will later on see auto SR, where we'll be able to turn it off right from the display widget. So all those things this is what I'm saying. I feel like there's a lot more progress in the game bar that and its usefulness than I've seen in the Xbox PC app, and that's where we want to see the big changes.
No, but this is exactly the point, right? This is exactly the point, and it is great because, and I don't know if they're doing this exactly, but it keeps happening this way, where interesting stuff is incubated on the GitHub side by someone who's really passionate about it, and then in short order, an official version of that shows up on the Xbox, on the official app. I feel like they're paying attention in that way.
So, Captain Chats, this is what I have been preaching. I've given feedback to through whatever feedback channels, and whenever I'm talking to one of the people over there, I've said the same thing to them.
Yeah,
they know. We'll see what they do. But so what Captain Chat says is, will they use the preview cloud UI rather than the Xbox PC app UI? Because I hate the Xbox PC app UI. This is what I am hoping for. And they know, they absolutely know that.
They've heard from us. I'm sure they've heard from us. And of course, Lucius back with more slander. Shout out to Lucius Augustus. He says, apparently those feedback channels in the past sent to you.
You don't know that for sure, sir.
See, that was another one of those Asha Sharma announcements that I was like, huh? And I was told I was being slanderous when I said this. When they said they were offering new channels where you could feature feedback to the Xbox, to that, right? I was like, didn't that exist already? And I did some digging and asked some folks, and yes, it existed before, right? But now they're seemingly readdressing it. They're refocusing their energies on providing feedback channels. So Lucius is saying apparently the old feedback channels went to the trash. Hey, who knows? Who knows? Because when I said, hey, didn't they do that before? People went, no, they didn't. This is new. What are you talking about? Anyway, so yes, for those who are paying attention to the space where the game bar is getting more and more feature rich, this is all good stuff. All good stuff. If you don't want to be on the bleeding edge, it looks like Microsoft is watching this space, watching it mature, and then they're bringing the pertinent features that everyone can use to the game bar as a universal feature, which is what I've always wanted. Right? I'm excited for them to mature that even more. Until they get a little further down the line, I'll still be continuing to use the likes of GoTweaks and a few others, because I feel like I can do a lot more there than what they offer currently. But it is still heading in the great direction. So shout out to Microsoft for continuing to mature that thing.
I don't know if you want to do this debate. Maybe it's a Discord debate, but I do have some slander for the game bar. And I believe that they need to curate the game bar store.
Oh yeah. Okay. So here's the slander. Let's establish that slander. Yes, you're I'm sorry. We had this quick conversation, and I don't want it to go too far because we're gonna go too far. But so this is a Discord debate that we might going to continue, right? So the Xbox store, right, has had, well, not the Xbox store, the Windows store rather, has been around for a very, very, very long time. And actually, by extension, the Game Bar store, because there's a Game Bar, specific store for the Game Bar, has also been around for quite some time since that Game Bar existed. But it hasn't really caught fire or really been given any kind of attention until the compact mode was made available, right? Since compact mode was made available, now all of a sudden the UI is more friendly to handhelds, and it seems like the likes of what's the name of that app? I'll actually pull mine up real quick and make reference it. The likes of one game launcher, which I spoke about and made a video about, that
Steam
can exist
DB.
now.
It's fantastic.
Steam Grid DB, people give it so much credit. That is a plugin that originally, that idea came from DecuLoader. That Steam Grid DB idea is from DecuLoader that they ported to Windows for this purpose. But yeah, they've been doing those awesome plugins, the kind of things, for some time now, right? It took compact mode to get those developers that have already been creating those things to pay attention here, because now it's more useful in a handheld context and people are doing this, right? So with that in mind, and June,
I see what you're doing, Aaron, but I'm gonna allow it because you're not wrong. So Aaron says the June showcase most anticipated exclusive Windows Xbox Store remake, and you probably won't get it, but
slander. Anyway, so with that in mind, now when you press the Windows logo G, or when you press the game bar or whatever, your logos bar, and I'm looking at it now. Now you have, there's a browse section and an installed section under the widget store, and it's not that huge a list, but it is a growing list now because of the fact that compact mode is among us, and it makes it useful. So they do have a lot of crappy apps, I would say, like not absolutely terrible, like god awful apps, but crappy apps that have been there for a long time. They've had apps like calculator apps, and they've had a few other things here and there, some Asian focused apps that are very specifically focused to different audiences and things. And now you see like the stuff like Suspend and Time, you see Tooth and Claw, you see One Game Launcher, lots of useful apps for handheld context and stuff, right? Now, Everborn, disabuse me of my notions if you think I'm making your point incorrect here for you. But it is your assertion that because you scroll through and see a lot of apps that you have no basis for and make no sense to you, that they should curate this store even now so that all you see are the useful stuff specifically for you. Am I wrong on that?
Not specifically for me individually, but I'm saying there should be a curation process, because when you have a lot of junk, it makes people not want to try the useful things. If I know it's just useful, well thought out things there, I'm gonna see, oh, it's a new widget, let me try that. But now I'm like, I gotta have already heard about it before I'll even try it out, and I think that hurts other developers.
So the reason why I disagree with you on that is because I've spent some time in the widget store paying attention to what the widget store actually looks like and what it offers. And with the exception of maybe 2 or 3 or 4 apps in there like that may not be for me, I have found that all those apps are pretty useful for someone somewhere. And that's why I keep pushing back, saying that the curation is not necessary right now. Let me see if I can pull this off. This is my whole screen being shared. Let me see if I can
show it now, because I know before they don't let you.
There you go. Okay. There you go. It is showing it. See, so there you go. Right. This is the game bar, right? And what he's talking about is curating this app store right now, because that's all this is, right? This is it. And I will scroll through it. This is all of it from top to bottom. There's no more than just this. This is it, right? But a lot of it is useful for different kinds of use cases, different kinds of people, right? You don't use this app store for those use cases, so you think a lot of them are trash, and I will agree with you. Go ahead.
Scroll up a little bit. Right there. Do we need those on the left?
No, but this is the point I'm trying to make to you. You keep trying to pick apart this app versus that app. I don't even know what this this specific one or that specific one entails because I don't know its titles.
Do you trust me enough to download it? Because I don't.
But the point I'm trying to make to you is you don't know what suspended time means, but that's a very useful app.
Actually, you don't know what suspended time is.
Well, yeah, now because I told you.
I don't know, not because you told me. That's the one that allows like quick resume. That was a big thing. The point is,
you don't know what this and claw means. But that's a very useful app. But like you don't know, crossbar zoom has been available in there forever. Lossless scaling as a paid app has been very useful for people. Look, I agree with you in general that at some point curation will be necessary, right? And in that way, I would think that they would need to categorize. That's how they'll curate, not remove or limit. But say, oh, you want tools? Here's what that looks like. You want handheld friendly things? Here's what that looks like. And that's what focuses people more on what they want. But because all we have is just this, that's it. The whole store. It's been available to people for triple digit years. And this is all we have right now. And some of them are even there because because of most of them, I would say, are there because of the compact mode. Now is not the time to be like, nah, fam, you can't get your thing in there because we don't like what you're putting, right? Like it needs to mature a bit. And I understand you don't, it's useless apps. I get it, but maybe useless to you, whereas it's useful to somebody else, right? The Crosshairs app is useless to most people, but if you're a person that uses a keyboard mouse and you're playing a game, that Crosshairs app may be super useful for you. Why should we limit their use in favor of the apps that are useful for you? That's all I'm saying.
But I'm not. But I feel like you're making that argument about what is useful and not useful for me individually as though I'm making a selfish argument. I am only saying if you have some level of curation or quality control, you just made the case for why.
Who decides? Who decides what's useful and what
platform holder?
But right? That's slippery slope, man. That's a slippery slope.
So again,
that's what creates. That's what creates jailbreak environment.
But we want them to create. We want them to create a simplified environment, right? In this game mode and dumb things down, which by its very definition takes power away from you. We want them to create a streamlined experience. But now we're saying no. Let everything fly.
No.
Quality doesn't matter.
I said
we don't.
Streamlined experience doesn't necessarily equal dumbed down. I don't think 1 + 1 = 2 there, but that's just me. Streamlined experience, you can have a very in-depth, very like powerful, usable environment while it's still being streamlined and easy to use and intuitive. It doesn't have to equal being dumbed down for it to be intuitive. That's just.
Do you agree that consoles are dumbed down vis-a-vis in relation to PCs?
Of course, yes.
Right.
But this is not what you're looking at here. Is not a console. It's not. It's on a PC. So dumbing it down is not necessarily the solution. It is finding an intuitive way for things to continue.
I understand that, but what I am saying is curation is not by default exclusion. But you are saying you do want some quality to these apps if you're going to display them there. And you are saying if you can make the case as you just did for it to be useful, then that wouldn't be excluded. If it's useful for somebody, that's fine. Well, I don't think you need a calculator in a gaming interface.
You know what I'm remembering? I'm remembering the days of old when the App Store, back before app stores were everywhere, when the App Store was the Apple App Store, and they had a curation system and a review process that was like an iron fist, and like developers would come out and go, well, eventually it'll release when Apple decides to let it. Like it used to be like there was someone who was anointed as the one that reviews it and curates it, and that wasn't good either. That's why I'm kind of like, I'm not sure I want to go back to that time when one company was the arbiter of truth that decided what apps were good and what weren't. That's what led to jailbreak environments, that led to a whole alternate app stores, because people felt like, you know what, screw you. I think this thing is good, and you shouldn't be able to decide whether I should use it or not. Like it created that paradigm. It created jailbreaking, the curation that they started, right? So in this specific paradigm, I don't disagree with you that there should be some quality control, some kind of curation, some kind of categorization, but I want them to be more careful than what Apple did, because when Apple was lucky enough to have developers fawning over themselves to develop for them, and then they started doing exactly to your point, curation and categorization and all of that, it eventually spurned different stores. It spurned different stores, which had great features that you would never get access to because Apple decided you didn't deserve it. So that's why, like, that whole paradigm and the meme of, oh, we created copy paste showed up when I had copy paste because of my jailbroken app store like a year beforehand. That's what created that paradigm, because developers were developing and Apple was like, nope, you ain't gonna do that on our store, right? I hope they do a bit better than then. That's why I'm cautious when I hear curation, because curation becomes gatekeeping, and who is the one that's responsible for being okay with, oh, this should be allowed and this should not be? It tends to be a slippery slope.
So today, right now, on consoles, they curate the apps.
True, of course.
Right?
Yes.
They curate the experience. Why?
Yes.
And what they're
but
trying
again,
to
this
do
is
here,
not a console. This is a
yeah,
PC.
but they're also calling it Xbox mode, and they're trying to consoleify it.
Well, they're not calling this Xbox mode, right? They're not calling this Xbox mode.
No,
Xbox
they are. Go to your settings. Go to your settings. Go to settings. What does that say?
Yeah, you can enter Xbox mode from the game bar. This is not Xbox mode right now. Okay. Xbox mode is the game bar's app UI UX. The game bar itself is not Xbox mode. You can enter Xbox mode from here. That's a different thing.
The point is they are trying to enter into a console experience. And listen, maybe when you're in Xbox mode, that's when it's curated.
Sure. Okay, I'll give you that. Maybe you enter Xbox mode, and once you enter there, only the Xbox mode UI game apps are relevant or whatever, like show up. Something to that nature. But all I'm saying is, you cannot, in the world that Microsoft has found themselves historically up until to this day, where they're always in developer acquisition mode, you cannot stop a developer from developing on your platform. You cannot do that, right? Apple can, you cannot. You must find a way, while continuing to curate and keep content high and keep quality high, you must find a way of always being inclusive of developers rather than, nah, yours is not meeting the standard, because you're not at that level where you can turn anyone away. You haven't been for years. This is what I'm saying. Right? And in that mix of some of them are good, some of them are bad, we have very unique, interesting things that have continued to bubble in that widget store, right? And knowing who we know, knowing what we know about them historically, like, will the person that's there be like, cool, well, let's sleep in time exist, knowing that it's an alternative, like a la a quick resume for PC? Or will they go, no, we don't want this because this is not our implementation. Get this off our store. This is where I'm worried. This is where I don't want any of that, right? The decision makers should not be able to decide how useful this app is, because depending on who you are, it may be useful for you, and it should not be removed just because someone says so. That's just how I feel about it. But anyway, but yes, more conversation to happen there, because that is our back and forth Discord convo. It is what it is. I will admit it. We've been going back and forth on that for a little bit. Before we get out of here, though, Everborn Saga, I have one last bit of smoke that I want to billow here. You and I on this Saturday before we go, and that is the conversation that Pete Hines, a recent interview that Pete Hines has done. I don't know if you paid attention to that. Have you seen that bubbling? Have you seen the conversation there?
Yeah. Excuse me.
Before you completely lose your voice.
Gone.
Yes.
I think it is sour grapes. I don't think he was a team player from the beginning. I think this is the same Pete Hines that ran Bethesda into the ground to the point where it needed to be sold. And I think he had no issues with going exclusives when he was signing over exclusive deals with PlayStation before the acquisition. So you can blame everybody you want, but you did Redfall and you were in charge of that. And you were in charge of the Starfield delay. And you put out Fallout 76 in the stage that it was in.
So you can't come now when you tried to turn the whole studio into a live service thing that nobody wanted. And now you go to Microsoft and you left after your stock vested too. So now that you got paid and got out of Dodge and left all your employees, now you want to stand on the side and say what's authentic and what's not. I don't buy it. I'm sorry. A lot of people like to rewrite history for their own benefit. So he can go and do that. I'm not. I don't buy it.
Damn.
But that's my take.
Damn. I don't think I can add anything to that one. He just opened his mouth and smoke just billowed.
Oh, this is a good one. I don't know if we can talk about this before we gotta go because my voice is gone. But there's a rumor that COD will not be in Game Pass this year. I'm waiting to see more on that. I think we talk about that because it's rumor phase now. But let's keep an eye on that one.
Yeah. Now on that rumor, if that means COD gets to be its own individual butterfly and Game Pass also gets to sustain and continue to be, and both of them being separated doesn't hurt either one, I say please go for it. Please go for it immediately, because I don't want one to hurt the other either way. I know that the COD boys is going to enjoy the COD boys stuff.
If Call of Duty is causing Game Pass to be $30 a month, then get it out of here, in my opinion.
Yeah. So I think I will let Slow Mo Backslap have the last word on this one. He says Everborn Saga lost his voice yelling at people on Discord yesterday.
That was actually Thursday, sir. That wasn't yesterday. It was Thursday. Get your day straight.
But I think we'll call it there, because I feel that Mr. Everborn Saga's voice we're losing him. Unless you're how you feeling, sir? I think we're towards the end of this. Are we not? Are you okay?
I am cooked. I mean, if they shout out to Slow Mo, he says, let's not act like if they remove it, the price is going back down.
I know, right?
No, well, what I think,
it doesn't go up.
It also could be that right now you have a tier that it's not included in, right? So do they create a new tier that has everything else day one except that, and it's $25? But Ultimate keeps it? I don't know. That's why I say we got to get more info.
Yeah. All right. Well, you know what? I don't want to ruin Mr. Everborn Saga's day anymore. As the chat is rightly saying, go drink some tea, sir. Go drink some tea. Shout out to Black John.
Tea with the honey and lemon. It was
tea with the honey and the lemon. You know what it is. I think this is revenge of Everborn Contractor. You've been out there in the cold weather, putting the hammers to nails too long, and now your body's making.
It's not my fault, because it was 70 degrees last week, and then it went down to like 40 and 50 degrees this week.
That's what it is. But you know what? I will let Paris Lily's conversation. He was here early on. I will let his statement continue to last, because I contend that Paris has been his account has been hacked, and that we need to do a wellness check on him. But this is what he said. It is what it is. Everborn Saga, sir, where can people keep up with your ongoings?
You won't be able to find me anywhere until I get my voice back, but after that, I'll be in the Discord.
Absolutely. As for me, you will find me also in the Discord. We might have some interesting surprises and things going on. We have some things afoot that we're working on in the background, as far as interviews and potential reviews of games coming out. Like I said, we are playing Replaced. So, more to come on that, and other fun games that we were talking about as well. June is fastly approaching, and I will definitely be in the house when the June showcases and all that other fun stuff materializes. But until then, how about y'all wish Mr. Everborn Saga wish him a speedy recovery, because I think he will need it. But as for him and myself, I think we are good. We are done here. And until next week. What do you think, Everborn? Are we good?
I know I'm cooked. So yeah, let's shut this thing down.
All right, sir. It's been great. It's been fun. Thank y'all so much for being here. Until next week. Deuces.
Thanks for being on it.